So as I was introducing Miss Nikunja, she received her master's degree from Ferguson College in Pune, and she did her master's in industrial psychology. She is also a certified REBT practitioner, receiving her certification from Albert Ellis Institute from New York. And she's also a visiting faculty in Ferguson College and Flame University in Pune. So I do welcome you, Ms. Nikunja, from on behalf of the whole team of Manusthiti and from our audiences. So our topic today is about it's okay not to be okay, right?
Yeah.
So what I understand when I hear this phrase, or how I relate to is that whenever someone asks me a question, how are you, or how you're feeling, the first response I give to them is, I'm fine, without even thinking about it, without even going through how I'm actually feeling, right? So I think it's been instilled in us from our childhood. Like, we have been conditioned to just not share what we are really feeling. So even if we want to, the first response that we can come up with is, I'm fine. And then we might start about, okay, this is happening, but I'm still fine. So how do you approach this topic? How do you see it?
Yeah. So you said it very precisely, right? Like, if I ask anybody, how are you? We are very conditioned to say, I'm fine, I'm okay. Yeah. Like, if you ask me right now, how am I probably would like to say that I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm pretty nervous also, because I don't know when this technology might ditch, right?
Yeah.
And that's something I would want to call being very honest to my own self. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's okay not to be okay, something where I feel during this time where everyone is in this pandemic scenario, and nobody's an exception to that. Yeah.
Definitely.
Also, at the same time, mental health professionals are also one who are into this.
Yeah, definitely.
So this topic, when I usually talk about or I like to address specifically for mental health professionals or people who want to make their careers into psychology, counseling, or any social support background. That doesn't mean it's not going to help anybody who is not in this profession. It's of course open for every person. I would say it's vital for every individual to know this or to
definitely
remind themselves about it. But what specifically happens is very rightly what you said, that how are you? If this question is asked, I'm like, I'm fine, right?
Yeah.
So what lacks there is the introspection, is the reflection on our own selves.
Definitely. Yes.
And that is what we do not really do in depth, and just probably due to the conditioning or the way we have been brought up, we end up saying, I'm okay, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Right? One way it's important for us to uncondition our minds, because it's something we need to remind ourselves constantly, that are we somewhere getting in the process of saying I'm fine, misdirected, right? And are we somewhere trying to portray something that I'm not really, right? Am I actually judging myself? Am I actually feeling ashamed of saying that I'm not okay, right? And if that is the concern, if that is the case, then it's important for us to address it.
Definitely.
Yes. I mean, we must shade the shame that surrounds around not being okay.
Yeah, this is a particular notion which goes around everywhere, not just India, that whenever someone asks us, we don't talk our feelings directly.
True.
Yeah.
True. That's right.
Yeah. So talking about mental health practitioners, social workers, why do you think we have this barrier of not talking to a professional when we are preaching the same thing, that we should be talking about our feelings? And when it comes to our own selves, we are not able to do that.
Right. So I might not answer your question very directly, because even I'm in the total search of it. Yeah. Like, understanding that what is that stigma all about? People who are into this field of mental health, they are actually working on the cause, like you people are working, right? Spreading awareness of mental health. So we all are working in the on the cause that it's okay to seek help.
Yes.
But we do not really realize that we ourselves carry that stigma within.
Yes.
Yeah. How are you an exception just because you're a therapist? I mean, shockingly enough, but therapists are human beings too,
Again, yes.
isn't it? And that's not
Definitely.
ironical.
No.
Just the way, if today I have, let's say I have headache, being a therapist, I'm not going to say that, oh, let me not say that to my friends or colleagues or family members because, I'm a mental health professional. How can I have a headache?
Yeah.
The same way, it's going to be very important for us as a mental health professional also to express and say that I'm not okay. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling concerned. I'm feeling disappointed. Isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah.
Just
So,
getting
yeah.
a more human aspect. That's exactly
Yes.
what I wanted to say.
Yeah, sorry. When we talk about mental health practitioners, I've seen it in my own experiences, and I'm sure you have experienced it too, that
Yeah.
no matter how much we preach, we are still at the same level at with anyone else. We are at the same level with
Yeah.
anyone else, that we still have those stigmas around talking about our feelings. And what can we do? Like, now we understand that we do have that, and we don't know the source of it
Right.
yet. But how do you think we can approach this so that we ourselves have a dialogue with our colleagues, with other
Yeah.
mental health professionals, so that we come
Right.
out first, before even
Right.
talking, before even preaching to someone else, we should be able to talk about our feelings. So how do you see
Right.
that? How can we improve on that front?
Okay. So, couple of things. Of course, there are many things that we can, if we go on discussing, it might come in. But couple of things which just spontaneously come to my mind is what you and I are doing, isn't it? Like just
Yeah.
talking about it more openly, right?
Yes.
Talking about it in the form where, hey, I'm a psychologist, I'm a psychotherapist, but I go through problems too,
Yeah.
right? And just allowing ourselves to talk in the space like this, it requires us a courage, isn't
Definitely.
it?
Yes.
So when the courage is shown on the platforms like this is one of the things, right? I think it becomes contagious. Yeah,
Yeah.
tomorrow after, let's say, watching this or attending this live, there's a possibility that at least one person might be influenced with it, and he or she might
Definitely.
start talking openly about it. Though it's a very going very slowly, but I think that's the way out of it. The second
Yeah.
thing what we do in our organization at Emoticons India is we also have this practice of counselor's counselor. Like I have my colleagues to whom I reach out to,
Yeah.
right? Because we know that we are humans. Again, that constant reminder is there.
Yeah.
And what we constantly remind each other is the thing that not feeling anything is going to be the desire of a deadly man, right?
Yeah.
So it's important for me to feel, it's very much normal for me to feel any negative pain just the way I experience the physical pain, right?
Yeah.
And at the same time, what we remind each other is that it's okay to not feel fine. What is not okay is to remain there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Many a times people misunderstand this concept of displaying my vulnerability with the concept of being there always and not being able to come out of it.
Hmm.
Right?
Definitely.
However,
Yes.
just a very good reminder that it's taking time. Okay, this entire emotional experience or painful experience, it's just taking time of you. It's not taking you as a person.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that is important for us to address. And I feel, again, on the other hand, it's being loyal to your own self. In order to really experience the joy of life, you need to experience the ups and downs. Because
Yes.
the entire mental health or mental peace in itself is a journey, it's not a destination, as you also would agree with me, right?
Definitely.
And just
Definitely.
And just imagine that you want to reach from X place to a Y place, right?
Hmm.
Do you always have the very smooth road to reach there? Or do you see that there are potholes, and there are speed breakers and all also.
And definitely
Right.
there are, yes.
So any journey is going to have those ups and downs. Yeah.
Yes.
So accepting that journey and not really looking at it in a way where this is what it is, that is the destination. That's something which is another thing which we could all try to inculcate.
Yeah, definitely. So it's very important to talk about these issues, and
Yeah.
not to complicate things in a way
Right.
that we should not uh, combine the feeling of sticking there and
Yeah.
feeling it. So we can feel it. It's okay to not feel okay, but it's not okay to just stay there, right? So
Right.
it's a notion that we need to talk about more. There's a
Right.
question in the comment section.
Sure.
Does How does mental health of a practitioner matter while taking a case?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you please reflect on that?
Sure. And that's a very nice question because in my trainings, I keep talking about it. So,
Yeah.
well, I feel that you only can take somebody to a certain destination if you yourself have been through that journey,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
And otherwise, you will misdirect them.
definitely.
Possibility.
Yeah.
So, while I have slightly addressed this before also, but I would kind of repeat that. And I don't think so that repetition is going to go any ways because it's a constant reminder to us.
Definitely.
So that's
Yeah.
completely fine. So, well, as I said that it's fine for the mental health professionals also to experience the sad state or a low state of mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
What mental health professionals should try to do extra is working on the process of basically addressing that and not remaining there.
Yeah.
Right? Like many a times it happens to me that and I'm sure many of the people would agree with me here on the platform, that people ask me, are you okay? And then I'm like, no, I'm not. And then they are just giving those surprising looks to me. Oh, you are a mental health professional. You are a psychologist. How can you not be okay? As
Yeah.
if we don't have problems.
Yeah.
But yeah. But what I tell them that I'm not okay, right?
Yeah.
And it's completely fine for me to not be okay.
Definitely. Yes.
Why? Because that makes me again more of a human. However, what I'm doing differently is I'm trying to work on this process of getting better and healing faster compared to maybe
Yeah.
other normal individuals who are not
Yeah.
in this process. Right?
Yeah.
Plus, another thing which serves like a mantra for me is it's not okay, whatever it is also happening around me, which could be negative around, but it can happen, which is mainly accepting the reality that it can take place, but
Yeah.
not accepting what has happened necessarily.
Definitely.
Right? So I hope that addresses briefly your
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, definitely. So what I understand is it's our responsibility as a practitioner to address our own issues and to seek help so that
Right.
we can take care of other people more in a more competent way, because
Sure.
we cannot just neglect our own mental health issues and talk about someone else's mental health issues.
Sure.
Right?
I mean,
Yes.
just to give you another analogy here, during this entire COVID-19 scenario,
Yeah.
doctors are not saying that I'm a doctor and so I will never catch
Exactly.
COVID-19,
Yeah.
right? So there's a possibility doctors also might catch corona. But what they are doing is they are taking precautions. Yeah.
Yes.
And even if they suspect that they have been positively resulted into it, they know how to work on it faster. They know the better ways to deal with it, probably. Let's hope that. Yeah. So it's again about just the way doctors accept, or the physical health physicians accept that I have fever, I have a headache today. Why not mental health professionals accept that I am sad, I am angry, I am concerned or anxious today?
Yes, definitely. If we are dealing with emotions, does not mean that we are we have a protection against negative emotions.
Yeah.
We do feel that, and it's important to feel those emotions in order to grow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I
You get
yeah. Sorry.
You very well said that point. No,
Yeah.
I said that it's important to, uh, feel that emotion, because I have an example myself where there was, of course, a time in my life where even I was in that into that emotionally dark space, right?
Yeah.
However, what helped at that time is just acknowledging the fact that I am into this space, and let me accept myself fully with the negative emotions. Because
Yes.
many a times it happens where, just to take a simple example, let's say somebody has gone through a breakup.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not something which is going to be negative for people. Oh,
Hmm.
sorry, it's not something which is positive for
Positive
people.
for people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely something which is negative, that they are going to experience the sad emotions. They are going to experience some
Hmm.
kind of a disappointment and negative feelings, right?
Yeah.
However, until and unless you live with that, and until unless you allow that to pass through, yeah, you accept it, you are not going to heal from it completely. Because in that
Yes.
process, what might end up happening is what also some of the people unfortunately do is they, the rebound thing, they get in another
Yeah.
relationship instantly. And that's the
Yes.
time they don't realize that they are indirectly not just harming their own self in the long run, but they are also sabotaging the entire relationship. It's like
Yeah.
I'm pushing my negative things under the carpet and showing that, oh, everything is just fine. See, I have another person to be with now.
Yes.
However, if you really one fine day open that carpet, you realize that there is so much inside which has been just suppressed, and then you will boil up. So allowing yourself to live with it, feel the entire pain also, and work on it. So if I can give some strategy, which usually
Yeah.
I like to call it as a 3 A's strategy, is
Yeah.
whenever you experience any negative pain, any negative emotion, when you think that you're not okay, the process to heal from it is 3 A's. The first A is acknowledge it rather than deny it. Yeah.
Hmm.
The second A is you accept it, that it is
Yes.
happening with me. This reality is happening to me. Even if it
Yeah.
is unfortunate, it is still happening to me,
Yeah.
rather than suppressing it. Yeah.
Hmm.
And the last one is address. That is, you don't really ignore it or say that, oh, I'll deal with it later. That is procrastinating it,
Yeah.
but you work on it constantly. So acknowledge, accept, and address are the 3 ways that person can try to, heal comparatively in a healthier manner.
Manner, definitely. And it's a very strange notion that everyone has to be in a relationship these days. So people can't be single. So if you're single, you're
Hmm.
not completely okay. So it's a notion
Yeah.
going on in our country and in all over the world, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
it's completely fine to be with yourself. If you are going
Mm-hmm.
through a breakup, you need to
Mm-hmm.
first acknowledge what you are going through. You have to address it.
Yeah.
You have to accept that this is going on with you, and you
Yeah.
have to find a way to be okay with it first before going on
Yeah.
to some other relationship, going
Sure.
before walking into another relationship, right? Yeah,
Precisely.
definitely. So there was this question. How it's a question. Could you suggest ways of self-love? Self-love is a complex process. Yeah, definitely. Self-love is something that all of us should practice, whether be it
Mm-hmm.
mental health practitioners or not,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, she just wants to know
Okay.
what's self-love and how to go about it.
Right. A quick technique I'll tell you, because I think self-love is also a skill, you
Yeah.
know. So which I practice and preach to my
Yeah.
clients also, is that anytime you feel that you're not being able to be soft with you, with kind with you, with compassionate with yourself, is the time when you have to practice this skill, which is
Hmm.
just reminding yourself that if any situation happens to you, which is the negative situation, of course, because when it's positive, nobody has a problem, but it's
Yeah.
negative, we have issues. So whenever there is any negative situation, at that time, you will have to have the entire narrative in your mind in such a way which you ideally will pick up for somebody who you love the most. So, for example, let's say if I am going through a negative event and experience, unfortunately, and I'm being very much harsh on my own self. By harsh on my own self, what I mean, I'm having a negative self-talk with myself, right?
Yeah,
So at that
criticizing your
time,
own self.
right, personally. So
Yeah.
at that time, it's very important for me to remind myself that in this situation, how will I really talk to my loved one if my loved one was in the same situation? Will I criticize the same way, the way I'm criticizing myself? Will I say the same words to the person I love the way I'm saying it to myself? No. So
Yes.
it's not easy. I'm not saying is it comfortable? Is it easy? Absolutely not. But is it going to be vital for your emotional growth? Without a doubt. Yeah.
Definitely,
So
definitely. That's
that's the
very well
skill one
said.
has to practice. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's another question. How different or same the approach gets while addressing these issues and working with a psychologist or someone who is from the same field, like mental health
Mm-hmm.
practitioners? So what's the difference that you see while dealing with people from our own field? Like how difficult
Yes.
or how easy it is?
Yeah, whoever asked that question, I'm glad that she or he asked because I'm currently seeing a couple of counselors or psychologists as a clients.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, what I hear in the very first session of mine with them is please make sure that this doesn't go outside,
Hmm.
that I'm seeking help.
Yeah.
Please don't tell my name to anybody that I'm seeking help. And yeah, so that's something which really is unfortunate
Yeah,
because,
definitely.
as what I said in the beginning, that you are from the field of taking the stigma out, and but you yourself are
Yourself.
not really
Yeah.
okay with the fact of going to the counselor, right? So that's something very unfortunate. However, my sessions then go into the direction of course, I do not breach the confidentiality, and but at the same time it's also important for me to make sure that they unconditionally accept themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that unconditional positive regard and acceptance, what our Carl Roger also
Carl
says,
Rogers,
is
definitely.
something very important. And I think that first has to be applicable for the mental health professionals themselves,
Yeah.
right? So my process with them goes into that you have a problem, you are not a problem,
Yeah.
right? So that's how the entire idea of you can have a problem. And in fact, the point that you're coming and talking and seeking help and allowing somebody else to show you the mirror shows the sign of your strength, right? Rather than faking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you are yourself not really convinced, okay, and working on it constantly, you don't know how the client himself or herself also will get helped out of it. And
Definitely.
another thing which helps, is because, as I said, I myself have been into the position where I felt like I want to seek help. I thought myself that I would not need it. I wouldn't need any therapist because literally I am the one.
Yeah.
However, it is important because at that moment, when I sit on my client's chair as a client, I realize what my client is going through.
Yeah.
I actually can sense what my client must be feeling, right?
Definitely, yes. It's a good experience, and also
Yeah,
sometimes when working with mental health practitioner, it gets a little difficult to make them understand that they know all those things but are not able to apply it, and they get frustrated because of it. That we know
right,
everything and still we are not able to apply it. That just adds
right,
a little more tension to their ongoing problems, right?
right,
So how to
right,
address those issues, how to
right,
make that mm, uh, practicality on like practicing those theories, those therapies on your own self.
right.
Yeah.
So two things. One is I say that this is nothing but the problem of what I call doubling your own troubles. Yeah, it's like you already have a trouble, you already are a victim of some problem, and now you're victimizing yourself even more because you're
Yeah.
telling yourself that how could I get angry or
Yeah.
how could I feel anxious? Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like I'm already anxious, and now I'm anxious that I'm anxious. Right?
exactly.
So what we call in technical words meta emotion, basically.
Hmm.
So this is something which is very important to address, that just the way I have again any kind of pain, physical pain, it's okay that I have, like, I don't blame myself, right? When I have
Yeah,
any kind of a headache, that how could I have headache,
yeah,
right? I accept it. The very small thing is acceptance again, that I have it. Now what can I do about it? That's
yeah,
important rather than how
definitely.
can I have it, right? So even the questions that we ask, that is, why do I have a problem? Instead of that, can we reword it and say that now that I have a problem, what can I do about it?
Yeah, how to go about it? Yes.
How to go about it? And another thing that just was coming to my mind, and I think I'm forgetting on that, but probably the aspect of uh, the clients, basically, when you are true to yourself, somewhere they also realize that, they gaze that, right?
Yeah,
Because your own body language, your own tone of voice, your own expressions is what the clients are also reading.
yeah,
Yeah. in
definitely.
fact the
Yes.
in fact the research states that the first 3 sessions clients come to you with, they are actually gazing whether you are the right counselor for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the best method to show the clients to accept their own self is by modeling,
Hmm.
by accepting your own self,
Yeah.
so that the clients also can learn to accept their own self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very well said. I hope that answers this question of how to go about this notion of not sharing yourself, right?
Yeah.
So there was another question: how to start introspecting or reflecting as a first step of therapy. So I think it's very important to do that, but we understand that it's not very easy to do it, and that's why precisely we need counselors there to help us introspect, right?
Right.
So yeah, can you
Absolutely.
talk about a little on the perspective of mental health practitioners, because we some tend to forget how to do it when we are going through the same problems. So how to go
Mm-hmm.
about it as a practitioner, as a mental health practitioner?
Right. Okay. So I'll tell you this with a recent example,
Yeah.
that just before this live session, I had a training to conduct, which was on CBT and anxiety management.
Hmm.
And all my participants, when they joined in, I had asked them what are their expectations from this course. That's
Yeah.
the time they said that they are doing, some of them were doing PhD, some of them were counseling psychologists or professors as well. Some of
Yeah.
them are psychotherapists. So most of them ended up saying that, I want to learn how I can apply it on my clients.
Hmm.
Yeah. I want to learn these techniques and tools that I can use on my clients. Right.
Hmm.
However, that's the time I had to tell them that, sorry, this expectation of yours is not going to get addressed unless you are ready to apply it on yourself first.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, what mental health professionals, now to come back to your question, is can do is mainly look at your own self as a client.
Hmm.
So, every time you go through the issues, you go through the challenges, have the constant dialogue, a rational dialogue with yourself, a helpful dialogue with yourself by
Yeah.
looking at you yourself as a client. Yeah. So can I sit back at the end of the day today? Because let's say since today morning, I'm not having a very great day. So either I would want to share it with my co-colleague or with somebody very close, or else I would want to myself sit down, like this is what I do. And then I write down the things that I feel are, at the moment pretty negative in my life, let's say.
Hmm.
Or maybe I write down my thoughts, which are disturbing me. And then I try to see that if this kind of a person was my client, yeah,
Yeah.
how would I go ahead with it? Yeah. And that's how I try to journal things. I try to discuss things and look at it as I can be my own clients too at times.
Yeah.
And if not, then of course I have other professionals I can seek help to. I have my colleagues I can go to.
Yes, definitely. One of the most important step towards uh, introspection, reflection is journaling. And I
Yeah,
keep saying this to my clients also, and I keep
lovely.
practicing that myself. And
Yeah,
I do sometimes fail to do it, but yeah,
we all do.
that's
I do it
yeah,
too.
yeah. So I do try to. So it's very
Yes.
important to journal because it helps us in our thinking, critically thinking, analysis. Because
Yeah.
when it's just in our head, we cannot do it, right?
Right.
Yeah,
That's
writing it
true.
down gives it a way of thinking it in a more analytical way, right?
Right.
Yeah,
To some of them, writing might help. To some of them, just visually seeing those things that you have written might help. To
yeah,
some of them, maybe recording your own thoughts and recording your own voice and then listening to it might help. So it
yeah,
could be different ways what could help everybody, and everyone can come up with their own ways. But the very first thing is, I have this problem and I'm not an exception to it, is the best reminder to give ourselves.
definitely. The three A's we need to apply on ourselves too,
Mhm.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very well said. And yeah, so about the notion that we have of not talking, not opening up. So, what's the first step of normalizing this notion, this emotion of how to go further about it? That it's okay not to be okay.
Mhm. Yeah. So as I already addressed that the three A's are the best strategies to go ahead with it, that I normalize it and I accept that it is something which is a very human, right? It's not making me any, just imagine that I have this thing like I'm experiencing extreme anger and I want to convert it into joy now. Now that's
Hmm.
a very supernatural energy that somebody might expect, which is
Yeah,
not possible.
which is not possible,
Right?
definitely.
But looking at our emotions in the form of applying these therapeutic techniques as a mode of regulating them, right?
Hmm.
Like just the way you have a regulator for fan at home. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can increase or decrease the speed.
yeah.
So the same way, can I actually regulate my emotions? Yeah,
Hmm.
and understanding that again, like when you start talking about normality, it's nothing but just constant reminders. I would again say the same, where
Hmm.
I'm human first and then I'm the counselor too. And
Yeah.
a very common example what we give to everyone is, I cannot fill from an empty glass, somebody
Hmm.
else's glass,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Definitely,
So
yes. That's
yeah.
true.
And another wonderful thing, which again, reminders. I think my life is all about self reminders. So that's something I would like to tell others also. Is what I say usually to people is, whatever you are going through, even while not being in that okay phase, you try to focus in such a way that, am I really growing through this, or am I
Hmm.
just wanting to go through this? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, time ideally doesn't really do anything. Like, we say time might heal. So
Hmm.
this is my opinion, obviously. But
Yeah.
I feel that it's not about time. It's about the way you deal in that time entirely without you might even be knowing or
Hmm.
being aware of it,
Yeah.
right? You feel it's time who is doing the healing process, but it's actually you yourself who is doing the
Yourself.
healing
Yeah.
process. So give yourself a credit more than giving that time a credit.
Definitely. It's your own resilience that gets you back up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And not just time. It takes
Love it.
time,
That's right.
definitely, but it's
Yeah.
your own potential that speaks. So
Yes.
there's
Your
another,
resilience is the nice
yeah,
word that you used. I love
definitely.
that word personally a lot.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a beautiful word, and it's a beautiful emotion that we have to come back, to
Mhm.
bounce back from our
Bounce back. Mhm.
adversities, right? And
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's just survival skill, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Possibly. Yeah.
it's still a skill, and we need to shape it. We need to build
Oh,
resilience.
yeah.
It does not come on its own. We have it a little
Yeah.
amount of, but we need to enhance that.
Yeah. Of course. Of
Yeah.
course. It's all about skill developing and skill practicing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. So there's another question from our audiences. Have you ever
Mhm.
experienced a burnout situation while interacting with your clients? And how do you manage that situation?
Should I be saying this on this platform is what I was thinking.
Okay.
No. So, but it's okay not be okay. So yes, I do, especially
Yeah.
when I feel that there are challenging cases. I do feel
Yeah.
that, or especially during this COVID-19 scenarios where we are back to back going into these counseling sessions.
Yeah.
It feels like that. So, right?
Yes, definitely.
And the initial techniques that I mentioned is what I try to work on. The best thing which helps me is talking to my loved ones, talking to my colleagues, journaling it, a self talk. And what I like to do is I have started writing it down as well.
Hmm.
So that helps me. I mean, I write on my Instagram page as well. And that's somewhere because I feel that, when I share it, then maybe somebody else, at least one person will read it and can connect with it, and he or she
Yeah.
might feel something good out of it. So, yeah, I feel that happens. It's a very humanly process. It's just
Process,
that I make
definitely.
sure I do not remain there again.
Yeah.
I don't try to just get caught up. And I remind
Hmm.
myself that I don't have to carry that entire baggage. There is an option of putting that baggage down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in a way, being empathetic is the key, not being sympathetic towards someone. So,
Sympathetic,
yeah.
absolutely. That's very well said because we get
Yeah.
confused with empathy,
And
sympathy, and
sympathy.
apathy.
Yeah,
So yeah,
definitely. So that helps a lot, being empathetic and not
absolutely.
being sympathetic.
Right.
Definitely. So, yeah, I think that's all from our audiences. So, would
Lovely.
you like to talk more about this topic? It's okay not to be okay, because we have talked about pretty much all of the aspects of it
Absolutely.
that we can
Yeah.
come about. So,
Right.
can you share an experience that would give us an insight of what
Mm-hmm.
happens when you're taking a client as a mental health practitioner as a client?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can be very honest enough,
Yeah.
initially I have this thing that, okay, I have a psychologist sitting across my chair or right now virtually as a client,
Yeah.
and she might also be knowing the process that I'm going to use with her.
Yeah.
Right. So the first thing is, I'm honestly speaking, I'm nervous um, because I would like to do my best. So that's the first thought. However, what I try to immediately tackle with this one thought is, but she needs a mirror too.
Hmm.
Yeah. And can I be that mirror? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I help her through this journey? Because she doesn't have to walk it all alone. Yeah.
Definitely.
So I try to remind that at least, am I sure, am I skilled enough, am I certified enough that I can take sessions, and even if not drastically bring a transformation, can I at least help the person, even say in bits and pieces, in some way, at least by
Yeah.
some percentages?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
As long as I'm sure that I'm not going to harm the person, as
Hmm.
long as I'm sure I'm not going to bring any side effect to the person, like some of the
Hmm.
medicines might do,
Yeah.
I'm sure enough to go ahead with the sessions. And I have received a feedback where they felt like, or they usually say to me that, don't look at me in a way where I know things, I know therapies, and
Hmm.
I know techniques. I want you to look at me as a clear slate,
Hmm.
as a clean slate, and who doesn't know anything, because I want to be just me. I don't want to really come to you by thinking that I'm a psychologist, so I'm expected to know something,
Yeah.
and that I'm expected to apply something. That's completely all right. So
Yeah.
that allowing people to be just themselves and looking at them as client and not a counselor who has come to
Counselor.
me as a client, it
Yeah.
helps me personally too.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
really well said. And we should definitely, even though we know all of these things, what
Yeah.
the other person is going to tell us, we need to
Mhm.
be very open about
Yeah.
being a client as a
Yeah.
psychologist, or as a psychologist, we should be able
Yeah. True.
to take them as a client, not as a
Yeah.
psychologist. That's really well said. So,
You just want sometimes somebody else to play the tape
yeah,
for you.
yeah, definitely. Showing them a mirror was one
Yeah.
of the uh, phrases that you used, and I completely
Yeah.
agree with that.
Glad.
Right. Yeah. So, people from our audiences, I would like to tell them that it's okay if even if they are psychologists, even if they are social workers, mental health practitioners, anyone, ordinary
Mhm.
people who are not related to psychology at all can
Mhm.
seek help. And it's important to do that. It's important to speak your emotions out, be it negative, be it positive. And
Absolutely.
you can definitely contact Miss Nikunja here. And could you tell us a little about your own initiatives,
Yeah.
whether be it emoticons, and there's another initiative that you're working on,
Selfie.
right? Self-E, yes.
That's right.
So could you talk
Yeah.
about that a little? Help our audiences to reach to you,
Hmm.
right?
Sure. So, well, Emoticons India is the umbrella body or is the main body. And Emoticons India is basically a center or an organization which works in the field of counseling, psychological testing, various kinds of trainings, and research. So,
Hmm.
we have these main as a four verticals, and we are very well known for our standard programs into REBT, play
Hmm.
therapy, psychometric testing, research, and CBT. So these are our standard programs, certification programs. Along with that, we take counseling sessions from kids, that is 2 years young child, that is babies, to buddies,
Yeah,
and even 60 years old people, geriatric population, they reach out to us for counseling sessions. So the aim of emoticons is mainly to reach out to the audience from the varied age groups, from different kind of economics or socio-economic strata, and
yeah,
also with different kinds of needs. Yeah, like as we at Emoticons very strongly believe that you don't have to come to us only when you have some disorders. You can come to
definitely.
us even when you go through a slight distress, and you can
Yeah,
also come to us when you want to work on your development. So 3D model is what we call
yeah,
of a counseling, that is disorder, distress, and development.
development,
So
definitely.
that's where our counseling field works in the field in the basically for various age groups.
Hmm.
And talking about, we run a year-long course also, which is certified counselor to be a certified counselor. That's our post-graduation course in counseling psychology. And at the same time, the another initiative that you mentioned, I would like to spend a little more time on that. So I try to
Yeah,
keep the emoticons very brief. People can reach out to
yeah,
us on our website. It's www.emoticonsindia.com. Um, but selfie is mainly a very close thing personally to me, because selfie is, as a full form goes, self dash E, that is self enhancement.
enhancement.
And that entire program is mainly a preventive program designed for children and adolescents and for schools. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, what entire philosophy selfie holds is it's easier to build a strong man, but it's difficult to repair a broken person.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm sorry, I think I said it ulta. So never mind. But point being that it's really important. This is a phrase, so I'm not really able to recall the phrase, and that's okay.
hmm.
So
That's
it's
completely
something
fine.
which is, yes,
Yeah,
that's something which is important. The crux of it is mainly where I can actually try to work as a preventive measure so that I don't get potentially into the problems. Why
hmm.
not equip myself? Why not build my emotional fitness or emotional immunity so strong that tomorrow I don't fall victim to it? Yeah. So,
Yeah,
can there be any preventive measures? Is what Selfie basically looks into and focuses on. We do work with the curative aspect of it as well, but we mainly focus on the preventive aspects using different kinds of psychological therapies like play therapy and
hmm.
CBT and REBT. And we run this program across various schools or
Yeah,
different kinds of camps that we conduct.
yeah.
So where the children from different age group, they register or they join in, and all the training modules are designed based on the developmental psychology, so age
Hmm.
wise basically.
Yeah.
So that's what in brief Emoticons India does.
All right.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's very important for to sum up all of it. It's very important for us to talk about our emotions, talk
Mhm.
freely about it, whether be it
Yeah.
positive, whether be it negative, because the more you keep it in, the more it's gonna bother you,
Mm-hmm.
right? and it's completely fine to not be okay, even if you are a mental health practitioner. So
Yeah.
it's seeking help is always better. And as you said,
Yeah.
prevention is better than cure. So people should
Yeah.
not just come to us when they have a problem, but if they are a little bit distressed, or they want to develop their emotional stability, emotional immunity, they can reach
Mm-hmm.
out to us, and we'll be
Mm-hmm.
glad to help them, right?
Right. Yeah.
So you can obviously reach out to Miss Nikunja on their website, emoticonsindia.com, and you can reach
Thank
me
you.
also at Miraki on our
Mhm.
Instagram pages. So
Lovely.
it was really nice talking to you, and we gained a lot of insight on how to deal with emotions, our own emotions as mental health practitioners.
That's great. Lastly, I think I would just like to say everyone that it's okay and put up your, sometimes it's okay to put your hands up in the air and say, I need help, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that I can't do this all alone.
Yeah,
So, yes,
definitely. While we are preaching this, you don't have to do it all alone. We need to practice it too, right?
together. Yeah.
Yeah, together.
Okay.
All right. It was lovely talking to
Lovely.
you, and we hope we can
Thank
have
you
you
so
again
much.
back
Thank you so
sometime.
much for having me on
All
this
right.
platform too. My pleasure.
Thank you. All right. Um, okay. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and it was a really great session. I hope everyone gets to gets to have a little knowledge about how we deal with things and how you should deal with things. And I hope it has helped people. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you
Thanks a
so
lot.
much.
Thank you. Bye bye.